In the headlines, farmers struggle with high input costs, seek government support. PDP crisis deepens. Wike's faction vows to protect party integrity. Borno canoe accident. 3 feared dead, 5 rescued. On the foreign scene, Rapid Support Forces seizes major oil field in Sudan. Hello, good evening and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. Now, dry season farmers in Kaduna State have expressed uncertainty over this year's harvest due to the rising cost of farm inputs and a lack of government support for the agricultural sector. The farmers say the situation has forced many of them to reduce the size of their farms and switch from cash crops to food crops just to sustain their families. Trust TV's Bello Musa visited farming communities along the River Kaduna and Igabi and Kaduna North local government areas and now completes the report. Take a look.
It is the beginning of this year's dry season farming cycle, and many farmers are preparing to cultivate various crops using irrigation to sustain production. We grow maize, rice, tomatoes, and onions. These are our main crops. We are preparing for the dry season farming now. Dry season farming requires careful planning and essential resources such as irrigation systems and farm inputs. However, farmers are raising concerns over the high cost of these inputs, which has forced many to shift from cash crops to food crops. Many of us have been discouraged due to losses in this year's rainy season farming because of high farm input cost. We took loans to invest in our farms but couldn't repay due to poor harvest and high cost.
We
are planning to cultivate just enough food for our families, not for profit. We bought fertilizer at 50,000 naira per bag and sold maize at 23,000 naira per bag. We can't stop farming. It's what we know. Despite the challenges threatening Nigerians' long-term food security, farmers say the lack of intervention and agricultural support is limiting their ability to produce food at full capacity. Some use cows to cultivate their land, but many of us still rely on manual labor, limiting our production capacity. Only a few have irrigation machines. Most of us use hand and hoe for irrigation. We have had the government distribute fertilizer to farmers, but we are yet to receive any. I have been farming since 1977. Irrigation farming demands significant resources, including modern machines, improved techniques, and adequate inputs. However, many dry season farmers are still relying on old and outdated farming methods. According to agricultural expert Engineer Garba of Kaduna Polytechnic, this is affecting the ability of Nigerian farmers to produce enough food for the country.
Now, over the years, if you look at what is happening, one of the things that keeps people away from agriculture is the drudgery involved in virtually all sectors of agriculture. Every unit operation in agriculture, you find out that it is manually done, right from clearing of the land, right from tillage, right from planting, spraying, harvesting, drying. All these things are manually done.
Farmers in these communities remain committed to meeting the food needs of Kaduna State. However, farmers say that low market prices combined with persistently high production costs have left them with little to no profit, and in some cases significant losses, making continued investment difficult. They are appealing to the government for stronger intervention and support to boost their productivity and strengthen food security in Nigeria. Bello Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has issued a stern warning to public officers over the growing threat of corruption, urging them to uphold integrity and leave footprints on the sands of time. Speaking at the Nigeria Excellence Awards in Public Service at the State House Banquet Hall in Abuja, Tinubu stressed that practices such as nepotism, cronyism, political patronage, and weak accountability systems continue to erode effective governance worldwide. He called on officers to rise above entrenched habits and demonstrate patriotism, innovation, and accountability in public service. Describing public service as a sacred trust, Tinubu emphasized that Nigeria cannot afford to tolerate actions that weaken institutions or diminish public confidence. Represented at the event by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator Akume, the President praised the awards organizers for maintaining a credible private sector-led evaluation process. Tinubu also congratulated the 50 individuals recognized for outstanding performance across sectors, noting that the awards were based on merit and empirical assessment, not political considerations. The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to speedy trial of kidnappers, bandits, and terror suspects as part of efforts to curb rising insecurity across the country. Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fabemi SAN, speaking at the opening of the 2025-2026 legal year of the Court of Appeal in Abuja, said prompt prosecution is more effective than prolonged detention or relying solely on military action. He noted that quick trials would weaken criminal networks involved in mass attacks, kidnappings, extremist recruitment, and terror financing. Fabemi stressed that justice delivery must complement security operations, adding that the government is working to strengthen the capacity of judges handling terrorism-related cases. He revealed that President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of additional federal high court judges to speed up proceedings. He urged Nigerians to unite against terrorism, describing this moment as one that requires collective resolve. The AGF also commended the Court of Appeal for reducing case backlogs through special sittings across its divisions, which he said have improved access to justice nationwide. The presidency has described Nigeria's swift reaction to the attempted coup in the Republic of Benin as evidence of President Bola Tinubu's leadership in safeguarding peace and constitutional order across West Africa. On Sunday, soldiers under a group called the Military Committee for Refoundation, led by Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Tigri, briefly seized the state television station in Cotonou and announced that they had overthrown President Patrice Talon's government. The Beninese authorities later confirmed that loyalist forces quickly overpowered the mutineers and restored order. Responding to the incident in a statement on X on Monday, the special assistant to the president on social media, Dada Olusegun, said President Tinubu's actions reaffirm Nigeria's strong commitment to defending constitutional governance in the sub-region. He noted that by standing firmly with Benin's legitimate government, Tinubu demonstrated Nigeria's resolve to promote dialogue, stability, and respect for democratic institutions. Olusegun said the foiled coup highlights the fragility of democratic transitions in West Africa, but also underscores the need for steady and principled leadership to maintain regional stability. Our Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has said himself and other founding members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, will not allow members who join the party from other parties kill the PDP. Wike spoke during his faction's 104th National Executive Committee meeting held at his official residence in Abuja. Trust TV's Habibat Ajayi has more.
The minister also berated the faction of the party for violating court judgments by conducting what he described as an illegal convention, insisting that the party must respect judicial processes if it intends to regain public confidence. He accused the faction of disregarding two substantive judgments of the Federal High Court, which he says had ruled on the matter. Yet they proceeded to hold their own convention and later approached the State High Court to seek recognition.
Just to let you know that we are all the same page, and we must not allow our party to die. From 1998, when this party was formed, I was there all through. I've never left. Bala Mohammed was a senator under APP. Yes. He came to be a minister because of touching on necessity. That's correct. And that's how he joined the PDP. Sheyi Makinde, my younger brother, he was an NCP. I know when he came to lobby, I know those who brought him to me, a bully cat. And the former deputy governor, who is here, and one are the lawyer, that I remember. Senator. No, SDP, he didn't make it before we arrived. How can those who met me in my house people who met me in my house do not drive me out? I would never allow that.
Meanwhile, the National Executive Committee of the PDP has been urged to constitute the caretaker committee to guide the party forward as the tenure of the current National Working Committee expires tomorrow.
We cannot continue to allow a situation where the conduct of a few brings our party into dispute or suggest that the PDP operate outside the boundaries of law and orders. The Office of the National Organizing Secretary is currently coordinating consultation with stakeholders in states where caretaker committee are still outstanding.
Addressing the 104th meeting of the party, the BOT chairman, Senator Mao Onwabua, emphasized that the transition plan aligns with the party constitution and is meant to ensure administrative continuity, unity, and stability across all structures of the party.
The Board of Trustees we strongly recommend to the National Executive Committee the constitution of a National Caretaker Committee with full transitional responsibility for the administration of the party pending the conduct of a legal, well-constituted national convention. Our constitutional values demand consistency, and the party must never operate in an uncertainty. The BOT is confident that NEC will take these steps responsibly in defense of our party and its future.
Wike called on party faithful to support lawful leadership and unite to rebuild the PDP in line with democratic principles and the judicial integrity. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And the Federal High Court in Abuja has refused an application by IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu seeking to be moved from the Sokoto Correctional Center to a custodial facility closer to Abuja. Justice James Omotosho, ruling on the ex parte application filed through the Legal Aid Council, held that the request could not be granted without hearing from the federal government and the Nigerian Correctional Service. He directed that the respondents must first be put on notice before any other can be considered. The court adjourned the matter to January 27, 2026 for hearing. Kanu had asked to be transferred to Kuje or any custodial center within the court's jurisdiction, such as Kefi or Suleja, arguing that his detention in Sokoto, over 700 kilometers from Abuja, made it difficult for him to prepare his appeal. He also said his family members, legal team, and associates are all based in Abuja. Kanu was convicted on November 20th on 7 terrorism-related charges and sentenced to life imprisonment. Authorities moved him to Sokoto facility over security concerns following previous prison breaks at Kuje prison. His legal consultant, Aloy Ejimako, filed a motion insisting that the transfer was necessary to enable him to effectively pursue his appeal and access legal support. This is News Update on Trust TV, coming up after the break. Borno canoe accident, 3 feared dead, 5 rescued. This and many more when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back from the break. In case you're just joining, this is News Update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. We told you that farmers struggle with high input costs, seek government support. And PDP crisis deepens, Wike's faction vows to protect party integrity. And moving on to more stories, a canoe accident in Gamboru, Ngala, Borno State on Sunday evening left 3 people feared dead, while 5 others were rescued after the boat capsized during a river crossing between Nigeria's Gamboru town and Fotokol in Cameroon. According to the report, the canoe operated by Mamman Nur Abagana of Kasuan Katako overturned around 6:30 p.m., throwing all 8 passengers into the water. 5 passengers were rescued alive, though their identities had yet to be confirmed. A woman, 35-year-old, and her 2 daughters, 3-year-old and 10 months old, were feared drowned. Their bodies had not been recovered as of Monday morning as search and rescue efforts continued. Makama added that police have arrested the canoe operator for violating the Borno State government's safety directive requiring all canoe operators to provide life jackets for passengers. Now, in a drive to promote girls' education and well-being, the Renewed Hope Initiative of Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has extended its menstrual health empowerment program to Jigawa State, focusing on helping young girls manage their periods with dignity and confidence. The report.
At the state launch of the project tagged Flow with Confidence, the wife of the Jigawa State Governor, Hajia Adiza Umar Namadi, represented the First Lady and flagged off the distribution of 10,000 disposable sanitary pads to schoolgirls across the state's 27 local government areas. The initiative, according to organizers, is a deliberate effort to tackle the challenges of menstrual hygiene that often disrupt the education of adolescent girls. By providing menstrual health support, the program seeks to encourage regular school attendance and empower girls to pursue their studies without fear or stigma. In her remarks, Hajia Adiza Umar Namadi noted that many girls face psychological and social barriers during menstruation, which sometimes lead to absenteeism and loss of confidence. She emphasized that the initiative will not only meet their basic health needs, but also restore their sense of pride and dignity.
Menstruation is a natural part of a woman's life, yet for many girls it remains a source of shame, a fear or absenteeism from school. Some girls are forced to stay home for several days every month simply because they lack access to basic natural hygiene materials. This situation is unacceptable in the 21st century and we must all rise to change it. Through the flow of the confidence program, we are saying no more shame, no more fear. Our girls should flow with confidence.
Stakeholders from the education sector, women's organization and development agencies at the event lauded the project as a milestone in promoting gender equality and inclusive learning. They highlighted the link between menstrual health and academic success, calling for continuous advocacy and policy support. As part of the occasion, the Petty Traders Association and the APC Progressive Women Forum jointly recognized the Jigawa First Lady for her sustained commitment to humanitarian causes and women empowerment.
No girl should ever feel embarrassed or excluded just because of her natural cycle. Through awareness, access, advocacy, we can ensure that every young girl grows up in an environment that supports her well-being, her potentiality, and her productivity. To our girls here today, remember that you are all strong, you are capable, you are empowered, and you are all destined for greatness.
Ma, before you are coming, the girls students, they have not been in any polite in Abuja. But during your office, some of our students will be taken by you to Abuja to witness some sign of program, and different grant of money will be given to our students. We thank you a lot for this initiative. We have never witnessed such kind of thing in the office of First Lady in Jigawa State unless you are coming. We appreciate your effort and we continue praying for you. My Allah guides and will be with you and your entrance to continue with that kind of project we are doing in Jigawa State.
With its successful rollout in Jigawa, the Flow with Confidence campaign reinforces the First Lady's broader vision under the Renewed Hope initiative, ensuring that no girl's education is hindered by a natural biological process and that every girl can thrive with dignity and self-assurance.
Now, TikTok has temporarily restricted access to its live feature for users in Nigeria during late-night hours. A decision was communicated through an in-app notice to creators and is linked to an ongoing safety investigation. Reports indicate that the restriction not only affects Nigerian users attempting to go live, but also blocks access to live broadcasts from other regions. Live streams that were available earlier in the evening became inaccessible between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m., with affected accounts showing a no-access label. The restriction may significantly impact engagement levels, earnings, and overall community interaction on the platform for many users, including viewers and content creators. And now in business, the Nigerian stock market has recovered from losses it recorded in November as investors gained 2.436 trillion naira in the 5 trading days of last week. Specifically, market capitalization, which represents the total value of shares listed on the exchange, rose to 93.722 trillion naira on Friday from 91.286 trillion naira the previous week. In the same manner, another major market indicator, the All Share Index, surged by 2.5% to close last Friday at 147,040 points from 143,520 points the previous week. Analysts attributed the rebound to, among other factors, investors repositioning their assets ahead of year-end. The ICT industry led the activity chart, followed by the financial services industry, while the services industry came third. Trading in the top 3 equities were eTransact International PLC, Cornerstone Insurance PLC, and Access Holdings. Away from Nigeria, the Rapid Support Forces RSF have taken control of Sudan's largest oil field, Heglig, as fighting intensifies in the strategic Kordofan region. Sources from the paramilitary group, the army, and the oil industry confirmed the takeover on Monday. The RSF, which recently pushed the army out of its last base in Darfur, has shifted its offensive to Kordofan. The region witnessed deadly strikes last week, including attacks on a kindergarten and a hospital that killed more than 100 people, among them 63 children, according to the World Health Organization. An engineer at the Heglig field said production was shut down and workers evacuated to South Sudan. A military source explained that troops withdrew to prevent damage to the facility. Since April 2023, the war between the RSF and Sudan's army has killed tens of thousands of people, displaced millions, and devastated crucial infrastructure. With recent advances, the RSF now controls much of western and southern Sudan, while the army holds the north, east, and central regions. And that's a wrap on news updates. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms for more programs, news, and documentaries. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. Thank you for watching.